Britain has a problem. We keep trying to build the perfect town, and we keep getting it wrong.
People just look sad in Hemel now.
Sort of reminder of sort of failed ideas.
When you come out of there and you've been working and there's nowhere to go, that's when you realise how bad it is.
How do you construct communities? How do you make communities where people live together, work together?
The English government has just announced the vow to build 12 brand new towns across the country.
So we need to bring forward that next generation of new towns.
Aiming to create over 10,000 new homes. But this isn't the first time the UK has attempted to build brand new towns. But why do we keep trying to build new towns? And what exactly do we keep getting wrong? Post-war Britain was in crisis. Destruction, sombre and change. In 1964, the government passed a New Towns Act designed to create a network of planned settlements to help overcrowding in major cities. These towns were meant to represent growth, a new way of modern living, and different opportunities outside of London. Over the next 20 years, the UK built 32 new towns, all with varying levels of success. The first was Stevenage in Hertfordshire, followed by Harlow, Hemel Hempstead, Peterborough, and 30 others, all spread across the country. Then there was Milton Keynes.
At the moment, about 200 people live here, and it's basically a farming community. This village will have become a part of the largest new town ever built in Britain.
Milton Keynes had one of the boldest visions for new towns. It was surrounded by greenery and preached ideas of privacy, space, nature, and efficiency. The polar opposite to the dense, crowded, stressful London streets. And its most radical feature was a grid layout, putting cars at the centre of transport and organisation, as they were the future. It was unlike any traditional British town. Wide streets, endless straight roads, and roundabouts, feeling almost American in its nature. Richard Llewellyn-Davies, one of the planners, strongly believed in modernist architecture. Clean, efficient and functional, showing everyone how progressive this new town would be. And on paper, it worked. But in reality, it was too efficient and too modern. The car-centric design meant people didn't walk much. Public spaces were sparse and lacked spontaneous interaction and social opportunities. The town felt corporate, structured, and kind of soulless. Life in Milton Keynes often felt like people were always moving with a purpose. The modern buildings didn't help. They quickly looked outdated and cold. Despite these setbacks, individual neighbourhoods had a sense of community. They felt safe with cars being separated, and there was a huge amount of green space around them with great connections to other interesting towns. Milton Keynes showed that efficiency alone doesn't make a great place to live, and modernist design isn't timeless and cements an area into a time period. In 1984, King Charles, the then Prince, decided to take matters into his own hands.
You have, ladies and gentlemen, to give this much to the Luftwaffe. When it knocked down our buildings, it didn't replace them with anything more offensive than rubble. We did that.
Charles has always been outspoken about architecture and even wrote a book called A Vision of Britain, where he criticised modernist planning. Instead of futuristic grids, he wanted to build a place that looked historic and old, but with the quality of new construction, an anti-modernist experiment.
When the Prince of Wales, when he made his speech to architects, it was a bombshell. All over England for weeks and weeks. People would talk about architecture, and that he was right.
So Poundbury was born, a new town near Dorchester, built on land that the king owned. The goal was to create a new town that felt timeless and rooted, rather than radical and new. Poundbury was then designed with multiple village centres. Everything would be a 10-minute walk from each other. Initially, the town received a lot of pushback, the media calling it a toy town, and architects dismissing the nostalgic feeling. But generally, people seemed to actually like it. The demand for homes was high, and many residents appreciated the walkability, mixed-use spaces, and classic aesthetic. Poundbury showed that people crave places with character and familiarity, even if it is fake. Building a town from nothing is hard. The UK housing crisis makes new towns seem like a logical solution, but a town is more than just homes and infrastructure. It needs character, history, community, things that take decades to organically develop. Ideally, new towns should acknowledge that they're going to constantly change and evolve. They are living, growing organisms, and you need to design them to adjust. Once horses were the main mode of transport, then trains were revolutionary, then cars took over. Who knows what's next? The same goes for urban design. Styles change, technology evolves, priorities shift. So what works today may not work in 10 years' time. So when design is based purely on the present, it is set for failure in the future. For success, we should focus on evolving what we already have, growing places organically and naturally, not artificially master planning cities. The future of UK towns isn't just about housing numbers, building places that people actually want to live, that no individual designer can ever fully capture in its entirety. Design must acknowledge that things will evolve, and that towns need to learn to evolve alongside them.